Show me a screen. Okay, fine. Okay, team. Ndimi muripo handiti saka ngatotanga kufamba pamaprograms atakanyora eBMI ipapa. How many vakanyora program yakashanda? Vakakwanisa kuitesta ikarana? How many? Just show. Vane isina kushanda ndevapi? Saka, yes.
Pane panatanga urana chiprogram ichi. So ndazoisa else if, but then I'm not like ndatanga kupisa macolons so vazati error pazastart.
Yanyora kuti chi error yacho. It's a syntax error. Inenge syntax error because it violates manyorerwo anoitwa chi language yedu handindizvo.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what we are looking at, handiti. Kuti pama programs atakakwanisa kunyora, what worked and what didn't. Sorry, just a second. Okay, Anditi. So we are looking at what worked and what didn't. Chandandi chida ndechekuti pane syntax yakaiswa na Brian yakaita kuti program ikwanise kurana. Syntax akaita inonzi type casting, handiti, whereby input akaitora and then akaichinja into a numeric so that tikwanise kuita arithmetic calculations and then obva display. So that concept is not immediately obvious. And if we are talking more broadly or generally, or even tichishandisa mamwe languages, because if you're writing a language like PHP, for example, it's not type safe. You can just write usina kuisa typecasting. Pane asinganzwisise principle ye typecasting kuti why do we typecast ma variables edu? Since munhu wese are program yakarana, it means kuti munhu wese akato typecasta kuti program irane. So pane asinganzwisise here nyaya ye typecasting tiitsananguri. Yes. Okay. Saga, okay. So do you remember the first time when I introduced my variables? There's a time when I came there, they got my variables. It's like munachikumbira ma directions. And it kuti ndoenda sei kwakati. Do you remember?
Yes.
And it. So basically, the idea was that paunopa munhu kana paunopuwa ma directions nemunhu, and it, you expect them to come in a certain form in order for you to use them as directions. And it, my directions mostly anenge ma sequences enzvimbo dzichijoinwa either left or right turn, kana kuti go down the road, kana kuti go up the road. And it, there's a certain form you want to expect paunopuwa ma directions, kuti ma directions angu anenge akadai. Ndo zvimwe chete nepatinoita ma calculations. Zvikanzi add two numbers, haunzi add a na 5, because a is not a number, and it, rather a is a letter. So you cannot add a letter and a number because a letter doesn't have a representation yema numericals, and it. So unless a itori variable akachengeta number mukati make, then hatikwanise kumushandisa for purposes of addition. That's why input yedu patinoiendesa kuPython painopinda paya pakanzi input paya inopinda ichinzi it's a string. When they say it's a string, they mean it's just continuous characters. You can either type A, B, C, or you can type 1, 2, 3, but you cannot assume the value you type is a number. So you have to cast it. By saying casting it, we are converting it to a definite number. We are turning it into a number. One asi singori one akafanana ne1 I think muchiruziva tiri kuprimary mabhuku emetse anga ane mabox handiti then mabhuku enhingirikini anga ane maline waigona kunyora manhamba mumabhuku English kana kuti echichi kuti waigona kunyora kuti I am 10 years old, but pawainyora 10 uyaya aisaverengwa as a numeral, as a numeric, but rather it was just a word, or it was just a representation of the word 10. But pawaizononyora box remets manje waisa 1 mukabox kake, 0 mukabox kake. Why? Because kumabhuku emetsika zvese zvatainyora anga atori manhamba akazvimirira. So we are forcing 10 wedu akanyorwa pamaline kuti areadwe neprogram yedu sa10 wenhamba. If you understand that, then you understand a lot of what programming is about, because so many times pachaita nyaya yematypes yoyi, you're going to build custom types enyumega. For example, numbers anonzi native types because anotouya arimo kudhara. Takaita page ratatichiona the other time ranga rakalista madata types ePython handiti ana float, integer, boolean, chichichi vese vaya vakalistwa handitika. Iwewe pauchazonyora program yako, for example patinonyora program ye-one stop shop, kucancel kunobhadharwa for example mabills, but there is no data type represent a bill. Rather, we will have to create that data type. Then to create a data type, we have to make sure the input yatichatora, be it simple or complex, is going to be representative of the data type. So it's a very important concept to master, and I sure hope that my programs are toda us. We will not have my challenges a typecasting and did you just say it, guys?
Yes.
Fantastic. So today we want to continue tichipinda muma basics wayo and building upon those fundamentals in order to understand the more advanced concepts. We have to start small. So quickly, muno esane paicham yake anditi.
Yes.
Apana asina anditi muno esari pa computer and vurai paicham yedu. We want to write a simple program. Blessing unayo ere paicham. Yeah. Zvirukuite.
Yes.
Blessing watunayo ere blessing. Blessing wachakanyarara. Hana ungoti amuri kuona maclass repenyu akuti siyane mafoni ari kungoti ari mclass iye asiri mclass. Amuzvona. Saka
Tinayo
pindura kuti une
ndatenda. Ndatenda mvura.
iye kaiye naya uma. Uri uda kunyora kodi yacho pai. Okay. Fine. Right. Saka, what we want to do, guys, Anditka, we want to write a program yekuti inobvunza munhu gore raakazvarwa. Handiti. Kuti what year were you born? Ponyorwa gore handiti. Then yobva yacalculate yamutaura kuti age yake ane makore mangani. Very simple, handiti.
Say ndamboita.
Yeah?
Like ndabotoita is. I just thought.
Saka hausi kuda nekuti wamboita.
No,
Saka
like,
hausi kuda nekuti wamboita.
it's not like I'm just
Yashande.
Yes, Yashan. I can send a few.
Good. Saka since you watonyora program iyoyo and yashanda handisika.
Yes.
Chiuya paboard handisika. Tsanangurire class program yako. Tichinzwa tese.
Okay.
If possible, you know what you can do? You can take computer iri kukasta pa screen handisika. Then ovhura paichame yacho ipapapo. Wotiratidzira ipapapo. Uchitsanangura step by step kuti chichiri kuitika.
Okay, like ndatora picture on the phone, so I can just use my phone.
Uchishandisa phone yako, iyo ndio wega unoona phone yako. Right. Good. Very good. Tanga tone, nyora tone.
Okay, like like first variable yangu naisa year of birth. Uti nonyora gorera like.
Tuda kuona program yako, iwe tuda kuona program yako pa screen apo.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Pana asiri kunzwisisa here zviri kuitika apa so far. Ndiyo andiri kutsvaga because kana manzwisisa ipapa apa ka then zvinorerutsa basa rangu. Yes, ndepapi pausiri kunzwisisa? Taura hako, ndepapi pausiri kunzwisisa?
I was really there, but my agenda was that he took you. So to take a question, which I said that he already put you in and said that so.
Oh, but one more try.
Yeah, I would try.
Chiboya kuno kumberi. Uya kumberi kuno. Ugare naye pakombiyuta yake apa. Muite mese. Handiti. Uya ugare. Garai muri 2. Pano umwe here asiri kunzwisisa. Ndo mukana wacho uno wekuti kana pane pausiri kunzwisisa ka. Tibva tatozvigadzirisa tichitoenda kumberi. Uku kumuti auye kumberi ka, it's because ndoda kuti titomubatsira tichitodini. Tichitoenda. Saka munhu wese ari kumashure ari kunzwisisa handiti. All right, fantastic. So ndakanganwa zita rako iwe. Aiwa, abva kumashure uku. Ndiwe. Ebeneza akareba mani. Ebeneza murefu. Wakazopfupika rini? Ndiwe umwe class rep wa blessing ka iwewe. Murovha kuchikoro imi. All right. Okay. So what's happening here? Tikuita inonzi programming. Handiti. Programming basically kunyora ma instructions ano executwa necomputer. Handiti. Nyatsopabatisisa ipapo. That's the point. That's why it's called programming. Kugadzira program. Handiti. Anu akamboona kana kuti baba muchato kana kuti panhamo panonzi program yedu yakamira yakadai. Kana kuti kusangano kuchechi. Program yedu yakamira yakadai. Chekutanga chadai. Chechi 2 tozodai. Chechi 3 tozodai. So kunyora program is basically creating a sequence of actionable tasks or activities dzinoitwa necomputer. Ipapo titese. Handiti. So in order for us to author or to program or to create a program, pane ma tools are available kwatiri. Handiti. So matools tinoashandisa kuita sei? You will find kuti kune matools anoshandiswa kudetermine kuti tinoda kutora input kuna user. Handiti? So for example, uruda computer kuti itore year of birth yemunhu. Handiti? How do you write that? Wazona? You are asking for input. Handiti? Ndosaka uri kuona kuti panzi int mapazonzi input enter your year of birth. Handiti? So apo pakanzi input apo ka, it's an available tool iripo yaunokwanisa kushandisa to ask for user input. Handiti? Then user input yacho waipiwa uchaichengeta pai. Wazona? Because computer inofanira kunge somewhere painozonotora information iyo. Handiti? So ndo yatava kuisa makanzi chi yob umu. Wazona? So yob uyo chi, it's supposed to be a number. That's why uri kuona acasta akanyora kuti int. Handiti? Int being short for integer. Handiti?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, can I call you back? Zoom.
It's fine. All right.
So, tichiri tesa handiti?
Yes.
All right. Amene uziri kuitika panapa computer yako pa. Zvangu hazvichabudi. All right. Handiti? Yeah, fantastic. All right. So, acasta, because it's supposed to be a number. So, mukabata ma-principles aende mukabata early, hamuiti challenge. One, computer inoda kuudzwa kunzi chii chairi kuchengeta. Two, inoda kuudzwa kunzi chakaita sei. Idai for example anga ari kuda zita remunhu. Zita remunhu for example inonzi Tapiwanashe. You cannot convert that into an integer because it is not an integer, it's a string. Handiti? That's the data type, no type of data racho. Apa he is converting it into an int because it's an integer, it's a whole number. Handiti? But idai anga iri mari for example, aishandisa number in decimal places. There are data types as well for that, like floats, decimals, and it. So that's the next thing. The first thing was washandisa technique EP to accept input. The next thing is input yako yawapiwa waisa papa. And it. Then the next thing is a print statement. And it. In fact, pane operation, sorry. Papa panzi age equals y minus yob. Now this is logic. Iyi logic yokuti ukapuwa date of year of birth yemunhu wobva wapuwa current year unobva wango subtractor. Now program yake ine problem yokuti ari kubvunza kuti enter the current year. Sezvinonzi hatizivi current year yacho. It is not necessary to ask for the current year because we already know the current year. So current year is a good example of a value that we can store in a constant. And it's a constant. It does not change. That's the current year. So we can simply save it as a constant. Don't want the current year equals 2022. And then operation yedu, it's simple subtraction and it. Urgona equal sign irapo iruramba ichibuda. First line number 1 pane equal sign. Line number 2 pane equal sign. Line number 3 pane equal sign. Urukaona ere ma equal sign na Ebenezer. Handiti? Pese paunoona equal sign, zvinhu zvine zviri ku right, zviri kuiswa mune value iri ku left. Handiti? So which means bekutanga pakanzi yob apo ka. Zvese zvichaitika ku right ukuku. Zvirubva zvazogumisira zvapinda makanzi yob. Pakanzi ye apa. Zvese zviri kuitika apa zviri kupinda makanzi yob. Even when we do the subtraction, handiti? Here apa tikatasa subtraction yakanzi year minus year of birth, handiti? We are putting the difference between those two values. Value yakanzi age, handiti? So that's the next technique, is the third technique that's available to you. First technique being accepting input. Second technique being storing it in memory. third technique being operating on those values. Kana kuti kuita ma computations, you can do my calculations. You know what? Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, all sorts of operations on the data. And then the other thing you can do is to print. Those are your age is 20. And your age is 20. Paka print. That's an output instruction. It's an instruction to say that is output. And so that's the next technique available to you. Then there is conditional logic available to you as well. And if age is less than or equal to 18, and print, you are a child. So basically, the other thing available is conditional logic. You are able to test my conditions. Could you decide the course of action that you're going to do? So in this case, you want to qualify moon. Are they a youth? Are they an old man? What are they? And so because of that, we need to have conditional logic. You know, to make decisions. Sometimes it's just between true or false. Sometimes it's actually between my options. But the building block and is an if statement. And Saga, if we are and unfortunately, I just with a repetition program, repetition. But in case you wanted to see repetition, but I think we can write Magoma programs. Let's just continue to share our programs. We'll be able to demonstrate repetition. Repetition, shanda, and one of my loops. Shanda, when you want to repeat an action. And so, but that you want to decide between which action to take. There are also cases where you want to repeat a certain action. You can repeat a certain action as long as a certain condition is true or false, or you can repeat it a certain number of times. Where you say, for example, just do it 20 times or do it 10 times. Or you can say, no, do it until the sun goes down. In which case, if the sun does not go down, you keep doing it. And that's the other technique available. Now, there are so many other techniques available. Programming. For example, we can create functions. A good trace a logic in one block of code, then we give it a name. Whenever we want to use that code, we just call the name. And you can do my functions and my parameters. We can do my functions as my parameters. I'm going to explain all these things as we proceed. So this is what's happening up. I don't know what is clear, Ebenezer.
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
Okay. So apana utasa. Apana. Okay. That's fantastic then. So let's proceed and it. Apatanyora program age and it. Tauda in a program. Let me quickly check what other program we can write. Okay. Saga now program attack that. Program, calculate compound interest. Yeah, that would be fun. But gonna be a little bit too advanced for now because you actually have to see the programs and it. So this is what I'm going to do. Brian, I'm sharing a link I'm sharing a link mu group redu iri.
Group.
Ndaisa link irapa. And so that we can go through these programs one by one. Tichitoavhura. And yeah, dzikako. Right, Ebenezer. Urikuona ku left uku. Urikuona ku left kwe screen pakanzi table of contents apa. Handikuona kuti pane pakanzi introduction. Handiti?
Yes.
Then pobva paita pakanzi input output. Handikupaona. Then we have operators. Then we have data types. We have yakanzi control flow, but ndoyanda ndichiti flow control. MaIndia anonyora zvinhu izvi saka dzimwe nguva anotadza chirungu. It's actually called flow control because you are controlling how the program is flowing. My programs typically are not executed from top to bottom, from left to right. But you can use different techniques to manipulate the program. Flow. So if you check all these concepts, Doma tools and are available for you to be able to create my programs. So do you get that part? I recommend kuti muchengete website iyoyi muchipota muchienda muchierenga because it's got some very good tutorials. So let's scroll down. Pane pakanzi basic programs up. Right. I am a programs. Yes, I can't basic programs. I did it. Let's open, for example, program H2. I can't maximum of 2 numbers. Right. Given 2 numbers, write Python code to find the maximum of these 2 numbers. I did it. Saka irikunzi maximum ye 2 numbers. We are basically trying to find which one is the larger number. And it pama numbers are 2. Kundepi hombe ndepi diki. And it Zengerere, computer yako ita noise. Unfortunately, you have to mute, young man. Right. So, do we understand the problem? Before to scroll up and an answer, do we understand the problem? Kuti tikapuwa 2 manamba totaziva kuti hombe ndeipi diki ndeipi. Handiti? Guys, musakotsira kanaya kumana. Pana nema ideas here kuti how would we do that? Hapana nema ideas. Saka ngati scroll pazasi tione hedu answer.
We have an idea.
Oh, my idea because my answer. Don't worry, depend on my next question. Right. Ebenezer.
Yes.
Can you try to explain what's happening for program it up?
Right. What's point 3 of it?
program yedu iri pazasi zvokuti unogona kutoikopa ka ukaiisa papaicham pako wotoishandisa wototesta. Titsanangurire zviri kuitika. Can you explain the program?
Right.
Kana pane pausiri kunzwisisa unongopapfuura woenda pauri kunzwisisa pacho.
Let me try to taura zvandingooneka.
Handiti.
Apo ndikuda kutsvaga the maximum number, maximum two numbers. There you go. So Jupiter input the data or else if a is greater than equals to b. We said that input data software with it is the answer.
Okay. Ko pekupedzisira chaipo chaipo. Print pobva panzi maximum a b.
Apo that's why the command answer.
Okay, so listen, it's a good opportunity for us to learn about functions. And listen, my functions are not define. You define a function. Those are going to first word def. And listen, def is a keyword in Python. It's a reserved word in Python, which is used to define a function. So we are defining a function in the maximum. And is it maximum? What is maximum supposed to do? Maximum is simply supposed to take two numbers and then compare them. And it will be good for you to copy this program, Papai Champako, so that you see behavior. So that we actually see the behavior. When you just say def maximum and you run it, what happens? And so quickly, can you just copy the program? Oh, so zero rato copy. Paste. And right. Ndoda kuti udzime zviri kuzasi izvozvo kubva pakanzi driver code up. Just remove that bottom part. And now dzima comment, dzima code yese iri kuzasi. Yanga iri pazasi pakanzi driver code. Kusvika ipapa. Ndisa izvozvo. Right. Iyo ndiyo function yedu iyo irapo. Handiti. Pakanzi def apa. Pano define a function. You put def, then the name of the function. Woisa ma brackets. Mukati ma brackets you have the option yekuisa ma variables aucha supplier kana kuti hauise chinhu. Handiti. Now maybe you want to understand what's the point in my brackets. There are times when you need certain things for you to do something, and there are times when you don't need anything to do anything. And for example, bikasadza and unoda hupfu and unoda mvura, unoda stove yacho. So there are certain things that you need in order for you to do something. But you don't actually need something. Anything chawapuwa. Saka pane ma-functions anoshanda ukaapa zvinhu. Kozoda ma-functions anoshanda usina chinhu chawapa. Now, if function yedu yekuevaluate maximum iri kuda ma-numbers anditi kuti icompare kuti pamanhamba edu ari 2 aya ndeipi hombe. That's why you find kuti ine maparameters A na B. A representing the first number, B representing the second number. Anditi tapabata. Pana asara. Okay, Brian, run a program iyoyi. And then muri kuona kuti kuzasi uko hakuna kana output yabuda. Amazvona. Hapana kana chinhu chanyorwa kuzasi uko, haina kana kumbokumbira A na B. Why? Because we have simply defined the function. Now we need to call the function. Saka ukanzi ndakudzidzisa recipe yekubika sadza. It's defining a function. Then ndikazokupa instruction yekuti chibika sadza. Now you are calling that function. Chidzorera code yawabvisa. Anditi A abva assignwa to 2. Andiri kuona equal sign yadzoka. Takati zvinhu zvese zviri ku-right zvinoiswa ku left side. So muna A maiswa 2, muna B maiswa 4. Then tabva tati print maximum AB. Now chimboirana toni. Hamukuona kuti pane output pana 4. That's because we have called function yedu inonzi maximum. Anditi pese paunoona maximum achidaidzwa asina def, then the function is being called. But ukaona paina def, then the function is being defined. It's very, 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 very important for you to remember that. Because my program amuchaona esega akawanda anenge ane mafunction and pamwe pacho pane pachikolewa function, pamwe pacho panenge pachidefinewa function. So ukagona kuziya the difference, then it's very good on you. Anditi. So let's go to the next program. Ngatidzoke kubrowser kwedu kuya. Tab riri ku-left. Tab iro. Anditi. Factorial iyoyo hatina kuiita ka factorial. Takaita Fibonacci anditi. Saka baya program ye-factorial iyi. Right. First up vari kutsanangura kuti factorial chi so that munzwisise. Anditi. Basically pakanzi 4 factorial. You're basically multiplying 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. Anditi. Unenge uchita go back one number, multiply. So it's the product of all the numbers leading up to that number. Saka tikati 10 factorial, we are multiplying kubva pana 1 kusvika pana 10 numbers is. No factorial here. Tapanzwisisa. Pana asina kupanzwisisa.
Chimbotangidzai futi se.
All right. Thank you for that blessing. Because vamwe vangu vari kungonyarara vachingosunga kumeso iwo asina kunzwa kuti kuti kudini. Tiri kuti factorial, kana ikanzi factorial, it's an operation on a number whereby you multiply every number leading up to that number from 1 up to that number. Saka tikati, for example, 10 factorial. Tiri kubva pana 1 kusvika pana 10 multiply every number iri ipapo. So we say 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 1 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Do ndo inonzi ndo inonzi factorial iyoyo. So apa we are saying 4 factorial, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 6 factorial, 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Blessing.
Yes, but
Kokana tikati 3 factorial tinoti chi?
3 times 2 times 1.
Fantastic. Wapabata. Ndo inonzi factorial iyoyo. Saka ngatidzike tione program yefactorial yacho ichishanda. Right. Now, code yefactorial inonakidza because ine technique inonzi recursion. Handiti. Recursion is a bit of a complex idea. Handiti. But kana ukaona ndingashandisa chipo. All right. Ukaona tsono yebhutsu ya handiti. Parakamboona tsono yebhutsu. Handiti nekahuku so kainako. Saka wakusona bhutsu yako unobaya kudai so. Handiti. Then woisa tambo kuseri. Wodzoka kudai so handiti. Woenda pa next stitch wobaya. Woisa tambo kuseri wodzoka handiti. So it's recursive in that tambo yaya unongochibaya chienda kuzasi chinosunga. Ndo inodzoka futi kumusoro. So a recursive function, basically a function that calls itself. And in this case, we are saying factorial n. And return 1 if n is equal to 1 or n is equal to 0. Meaning to say, the program maybe ikasvika pana 1, tika counter down, ikasvika pana 1, yaufana umira. And so else n times factorial n minus 1. So pamusoro apa parameter rekutanga ndi n patiri kudefine a factorial. But muzasi pataka kushandisa factorial wedu pataka kukola function yedu, we are now already supplying a value which is n minus 1. And so pari tricky for a lot of people to get first time, especially now that it's still an introduction. But you'll find that it's a very, very powerful concept because they are no shandisa for repetitive things. Repetitive, so you don't have to repeat block a code, but rather you can just use recursion. And recursion here will do exactly what you wanted to do, but without you having to write my instructions there. And so Torah program edu Brian, what is it after in PyCharm? Now we test. Visa ako semicolon, Python haina need dema semicolon. Imwe semicolon iba line number 5. Right. Ngati rane ito. Saka factorial of 5 is 120 and it. Saka tola kuti inspectors zviri kumboitika ipapa. Enaba line number 4 apa. And it. Then just hit enter after the line. Then over to print n. Yeah, run our program. Right. Do you see what's happening, guys? Value ya n iri kuchinja muruzona.
Yes.
Now we've only defined the function here ika 1 and tango ikola ka 1. But kana ukatarisa pa log pedapa yanyora 5 ikanyora 4 ikanyora 3 ikanyora 2 ikanyora 1, which means kuti yarana ka 5 at least. How is it possible kuti yarana ka5 is tangoikola ka1? Ndo pari kushanda recursive function yedu iri munani? Iri muline number 6. If you check pana line number 6 apa, pana umwe factorial futi uyo ari kupedzisira mamuona. Ndiye factorial ari kudefinewa pamusoro apa line number 3. So basically the function that we are defining takutoishandisa tisati tapedza kuidefine. Chitsotsi handiti. Okay. Saka factorial patamudefina kumusoro tati anotora parameter 1. Handiti. Atora parameter yaobva ari printer. Handiti. Then oterminator kana parameter iroro rashi ra equal to 1 kana riri equal to 0. Zvobva zvaguma zvakadaro. Otherwise anobva ati tobva tati n where times factorial toti n minus 1, which means we are now going to the next number. So that is a very powerful concept in the recursion. I know that it may not be immediately clear right now, but with more examples and with more experience and nekuramba tichiexplore, you'll actually start to understand that okay, recursion inoshanda sei in basa rayo nderei chaicho. Hani mapabata. Let's go and look at the next program. Right. Wakomana wezvimbadzo murimo heromo. Line number 4 iyo yakanzi Python for simple interest. Yeah. Pana anoita zvimbadzo. Oh, Mbadzo ma1. Endai pa line now. Endai pa line, click a line number 4 iyo titoone program yacho. High school da. Koibaza spacha high school day. Chingo right click out to open a new tab. I know. Right. Here up with. I did it. Simple interest tabatapo formula actually. I did it. I talk about my bonda. With my rupees in my Indian. So we have the principal. And this is. Then we have the time. And then we have the rate. And this is. Saka ndikakupa 1000 wewe. Doti 1000 bond yangu ichi. Inenge ichita 10% per annum. Kuti uzondidzorera after 10 years unenge wakundidzorera mari. Ndo program yatuta nezvayo izvi. Handiti. Titese.
Yes.
Saka ngatikopei ka program yedu tinoisa upai chamu. Tinzwisise kuti iri kushanda sei. All right, titese. Okay, so what happens here is we are calculating in reverse up. Tingodzwa mafigures ndobva zvanzi achititaurira kuti after period yakati handiti interest yacho yanga iri mari handi. Okay, saka basically function yedu inotora 3 ma-arguments handi muzviona. So with regards to the number of arguments dzinotorwa nemafunctions, we just use the number of arguments that we need. Tanyora program yanga ne 1 argument, tanyora program yanga ne 2 parameters. Argument na parameter is the same thing. They mean the same thing basically. Ingori nye kuti dzimwe nguva when you're talking about a function when it's being called, ndopa unozoti argument. But when you're talking about it being defined, then you say parameter. So up in a 3 arguments, of which it has been called in my values aga supply. So that's the key. One is to understand how a function is defined and what parameters it requires and how it is used. So I think in a nutshell, my programs most of them are function. It readies us for us to now read deeper and to try and understand more what's happening. And ndichaunyoresa zama reprogramming musi Friday. So now mofana kuerenga zvinhu izvi because ndo zvinokupai capacity yacho yekuti tiite zvinhu zvereal world chaizvo. So you'll find the next couple of days patichaita a few more basic programs. Tauda kutotanga kutoita ma-programs are useful. Ekuti, for example, how can we build a website? Yekuti vanhu vanoregister ma-bills avo, vanogona kumaita ipapo, ma-payments, some of the stuff that Mrs. Zimunya was talking about the other time. So we want to be able to approach those kind of problems. But these are the building blocks, no ma fundamentals acho. Blessing. What you uchaita find out handiti kuti ne vanhu vari kurova kuchikoro handiti. Yeah, please do that. Please do that and get back to me today. And imimo vanhu vari muhub, if you're able to find out any additional information as to why we are having lower attendance, it's important because it's not about to improve. Can I have a problem with the way that I deliver, then I can improve. Or if there is a problem, we can expedite disbursement. We definitely want the feedback. We want it constructive. We are not about to program because we have my goals that I set. I don't know if you still remember, she set my goals to course and did it. Set my goals and we want to achieve those goals. So that's it for today. Thank you for attending. Well, let's link up again Mangwana for our programming session. So is there anyone any question so far? Apana any question? Okay, saka ngatirambe tichiwerenga ka particularly link yandasenda ine ma-examples akanaka stereki, and then mukatarisa to the left pakatonyorwa table of contents, ndo pane matopics acho ezvinhu zvada kuita because ndo programming yacho iyoyo, hakuna inodarika ipapo. And whatever else chatichaita zvine zviri related kuprogramming iyoyo. So ameno maybe vamwe vauda kuenda kwamagood one kuvhale, ameno hatichazivi. So takukusunungurai.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you. And Brian, please, usakangana unditumira on a recording this by YouTube. Okay, cheers, guys.
Sure.